Welcome to the Endeavor Podcast.
For those who want to build something meaningful while keeping their eyes on the one who called them to build it.
Hey friends, we're so glad you're here. In today's episode, we want to welcome you, introduce ourselves, share why this podcast exists, and help you decide if the Endeavor Podcast is a place you'll want to keep coming back to. Our prayer is that wherever you are today, this conversation brings you a little closer to Jesus. Well, here we are. Should we just automatically...
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has. I almost feel like we need to begin today with a little bit of a confession, even before we introduce ourselves. So yesterday we tried to record for the first time, and let me just tell you, it was a disaster. It did not go as planned, and it was frustrating, and we both left the office feeling tense and overwhelmed.
Yeah, because we tried twice. Not once. We tried twice.
We tried twice, and we failed miserably. And
almost didn't even get started yesterday because of sound.
Yeah.
That was an issue first off.
Yeah, I had to work through some technology things, but lessons learned. But in that, there's also, I just want to kick it off with that because we want to do this podcast from a place of genuine vulnerability, sharing both the wins and the fails, like all the things, because through that struggle, even just yesterday, God really did reveal so much of his goodness through that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like this week on Tuesday night, we went to a church service at our
conference,
church association, like they were having their conference, and the message that night was like exactly what our first 2 or 3 episodes are going to be about. So that felt like a really fun confirmation. And then last night I went to church, and honestly, I didn't want to go. I felt tired.
I did not go.
She didn't go because we had Darling out late the night before for that other service.
But trying to catch up on house things, work, missing 2 nights in a row was going to be really difficult. But I did encourage you to go. I was like, I got Darling. I can finish what I need to finish. Yeah,
you encouraged me to go. And so I went on, and we heard from a couple of missionaries that we support in Mexico, our church. And their message was even more of a confirmation about the content that we're going to cover in the first few episodes. So it was just really cool for the Lord to be so timely when we were feeling like failures of attempting to do what
coming out the gate swinging and
coming out
missing.
the gate swinging and missing. We felt like failures in what he was calling us to do, but he immediately showed up out of his goodness and gave me much needed encouragement and confirmation. And so also in that, like, don't be afraid to start something new. Like, we're putting ourselves out there to start something new because you'll never grow if you don't start something new.
That's good.
In fact, I gave myself a little rule this year. I gave myself 3 little rules to live by this year. That was technically my New Year's resolution. And one of them was you have permission to begin. So I know that sounds like a little frou-frou or whatever. Foo-foo? What is it?
Frou-frou.
Frou-frou?
Yeah, with an R.
I don't know. Woo-woo. That's what I mean. A little woo-woo.
That's
not frou-frou. Woo-woo. Like out there. I don't know. Silly. Funny. But I need that. I need that because I am a perfectionist, and so are you.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
neither of us like to start new things because we want to be good at the thing immediately instead of having to start in a place where we do have to trash the first 2 hours of recording, where we do have to start episode 1 for the 3rd time. That is not in either of our spectrum of desire.
Yeah. Well, and I don't mean this boastfully, but we haven't had to be necessarily bad at something in a long time or feel bad at something in a long time. And so that was a challenge to feel that and now be trying to overcome it. So now let us introduce ourselves.
Oh, we're going to give them the other 2 resolutions or just that one?
Sure.
You piqued my interest. What were your other 2?
Well, the other two was excellence over perfection for myself, because those are not the same. You can be excellent without feeling you have to be perfect. And then the other one was abide in him first. So, like, whatever you do in that day, whatever you're pursuing, like, always come back to him first. Like, spend time with Jesus first,
Yeah.
because everything flows from there. So let us introduce ourselves. I am Cameron. This is my beautiful wife, Elizabeth. We are wedding photographers and videographers based in Central Arkansas. We love Jesus, truly. He has been the best thing about our lives thus far.
Time and time again.
Time and time again.
Always. Yeah.
We have a beautiful 2-year-old daughter. Her name is Darling James, and she is full of sass and life and
so much spunk.
yeah, spunk. That's the word.
She is very lively.
Yeah. And anyways, that's kind of who we are. And we started our business back in 2018. And we have seen the Lord work for us and with us and in us in countless ways through our business. Like, it's insane to look back.
Yeah, and we'll tell those stories throughout episodes, and you'll get to hear a lot of what the Lord has done, because I feel like it's relevant to just about every topic we'll cover ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just insane to look back and see the faithfulness of Jesus through it all. And I literally have journals filled right over here in a bookshelf. I have journals filled. A long time ago, somebody was like, look, you need to start journaling everything you experience with the Lord. That was years ago, like 10 or more years ago, because that way you have something to look back on when you're in seasons of, disillusionment or doubt or whatever. You can look back and see what the Lord has already done. And so, how did we get to where we are? It's been a wild road. So like I've already said, back in 2018, that's when I first picked up a camera. I was actually a 7th grade science teacher in an amazing school district. But after my first year of teaching, I knew that that's not necessarily what I was called to do specifically.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no,
It definitely was
I
not
was
your
pretty
calling.
miserable. Not that you won't be miserable or suffer in your calling at times, but I just knew that that's not what God had for me. And so I was miserable. I was coming home every night, like just crashing on the couch, just exhausted, literally in every way imaginable, spiritually, physically, emotionally, just drained by life. And Elizabeth was like, hey, you need a hobby. And I was like, you're probably right. And so I was like, a hobby? Like, what do I like to do besides
Watch TV on the
binging
couch.
Netflix? Yeah, Netflix. And so honestly, I just began to pray about it. I was like, Lord, what would I enjoy? you know me better than I know myself. What would I actually enjoy doing? And I do feel like over time, he began to remind me that I enjoyed photography, even just on my phone. Like
Yeah.
literally on my iPhone, I would take pictures randomly, like of landscapes or whatever, and I enjoyed it. So I was like, I could maybe get into that. And so in Cameron fashion, I was like, okay, but if I'm going to do this, like I want to do it well, like I want to do it right, and which is silly for a hobby because it's a hobby, you're just supposed to have fun with it. But I just wanted to do it well if I was going to do it. So I just started looking up videos on YouTube, just asking all the questions. And finally, I wanted to get some equipment. And
turns out camera equipment is really expensive.
Very, very expensive.
And we did not have the money for it.
We had nothing, like absolutely nothing. We had no money. We had no equipment. We had nothing. Yeah. So we went to Best Buy. And we were living on faith and Best Buy credit because...
And a little prayer. I mean, I literally prayed because they had no interest for 48 months at the time, I want to say. So 2 years, no interest. And in my mind, if it's no interest, that's a good buy because it stretches your dollar. Love that. And I was praying Lord, if we can get it all on, if we can qualify for the credit that we need, that'll be a sign that this is meant to be.
If
Love
you
putting
give us
out.
this debt.
Well, I like putting out fleeces, and to me, if it's zero interest, it's hard to call it debt because you're you're paying it out over time without any penalty. Love that. Um, but I remember like praying that, like, Lord, if you can just get us the equipment and it qualify on a card. And I think like after we walked out, we had paid down $20 that day. So like,
Maybe.
and I mean, we needed a computer, we needed the cards,
Lens, camera,
we had
everything.
nothing.
Nothing.
We were starting from scratch, and we were able to put it all on that card. And so I'm walking out super excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, Cameron has this really awesome hobby. Because I'm thinking around here, like a lot of people hunt, a lot of people golf. And those are super expensive hobbies. So I just looked at that as like, oh, I mean, hobbies just cost money. So I'm just extremely excited that you have a hobby. That is not how you walked out, though.
No. So when we're walking out of Best Buy, I have this pit in my stomach because I'm like, okay, this just went from a hobby to like now we have in my mind a debt that we don't have the money to pay, which technically we did over the time period, but still, I'm like, I have to make something happen from this. And so I'm a little bit sick to my stomach, but it ended up being like the best pressure that I needed. Because I didn't even know what I was going to photograph. Like I had no plans of making it a business. I had no plans of that at all. I just wanted something fun to do. And so, but walking out, I'm like, okay, maybe I do need to make something happen from this. Like, is that even possible? And so I reach out to a girl named Grace Starr, who I will always
Yes,
mention in this
thank you,
story.
Grace.
Yes, thank you, Grace. She photographed my cousin's wedding in 20.
15?
Gosh, I don't remember.
They
Yeah,
were
maybe
15,
2015.
I think they were a year before us.
And I just remembered how kind and bubbly and joyful she was. And I was like, you know what? Maybe she would like answer some questions about photography that I have. And so I just reach out and I'm like, I don't know if this is overstepping or like if there's gatekeeping involved with this industry. I have no idea. In my mind, like photographers made a few $100s per wedding, maybe. Like I had no context at all for it. And so I reached out to her and I just explained, I was like, you did my cousin's wedding. And I don't know if you remember me, but if you're available, I would love to just sit down with you and chat and ask some questions. And she agreed to meet with me. And we literally, poor Grace, I talked to her for like 3 hours and asked her all the questions that I was curious about. And in that meeting, that's when I learned that photography actually could become a thriving career. And I learned a lot about wedding photography. She invited me to second shoot with her. And I got to do that for like 5 weddings and I learned a ton just by working with her. She's incredibly talented, very professional. And so walking out of that meeting, I remember having this feeling that I feel like most creatives could relate to, whether you're a planner, a florist, photographer, videographer, whatever. I walked out of that meeting with like a burning passion within me. Like literally, I felt like I was imploding, like walking on air. And at the time, I didn't know what to call it. But now when I look back, I know that I can call it hope. Like I literally, for the first time in a long time in my life, had hope. I realized, oh my gosh, I could actually do a career. I could do a job that would be fun, creative, in my own control, quotations needed there, control.
No longer a 9 to
I
5.
could be my own boss, is what I mean.
Yes.
And so I was so excited about what could be. So I decided right then and there after that meeting, I am going to do whatever it takes to make this work. So for the next 2 years, I still taught and I was praying about it a lot. Like, Lord, I don't want to do anything I'm not meant to do because that's what got me into teaching in public school in the first place.
Oh, yeah, that's quite the story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ended up there because the
Yeah.
Lord let you pick.
Yeah, he gave me choice, obviously, as he does. I picked not what he wanted for me. And I'm like, Lord, I don't want to do that again. I want you to guide this, direct this. If this is meant to be, it feels like a big dream. It feels beyond me. If it's meant to be, I want you to let it happen.
Yeah.
And open the
Put
doors.
him in control of.
Yes, put him in
would happen.
control. Open the doors that are meant to be open. Close the doors that are meant to be closed. So for the next 2 years, we because I
Yeah.
quickly brought Elizabeth on because I'm colorblind, believe
Yeah,
it
so
or
I
not.
quickly got roped into this little business venture that I thought was a hobby.
Yeah.
Because he
Psych.
pretty quickly, we learned very quickly that even though he cannot see color, he is great with light. He's great with structure and
Composition.
composition. Like, he just naturally had an eye for it. Like, very quickly, we had people starting to ask, like, "Oh, will you take my picture? Will you take my picture?" Because he had a natural gifting.
Family, seniors.
Oh yeah, so we quickly like started having business, but the problem is he can't see color, and so someone might end up green or pink or
Yeah. And at first I was a little bit embarrassed to like let people know that I was colorblind or like felt like I might need to hide that. But then I learned like actually it could be because of my color blindness that I am naturally, I mean, I don't want to sound
seeing
boastful in this, but
light
like
or.
naturally gifted. I don't have many natural gifts. Genuinely, I don't.
But this is one of them.
mean that. I mean that. I really don't. Like my sister was naturally very talented at basketball. She
Singing.
singing, all the
Yeah.
playing instruments, all those things, naturally gifted. If I was to do any of that, I would have to practice, 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 practice. Photography was one of the first things for me that felt like a natural gift. Of course, I had to learn a lot up front, but I took to it really quickly, really easily.
Yeah.
But I learned about the color blindness that actually it could be because of my color blindness that trained my eye
To look for other things.
to look for other things like light, composition, those things.
Contrast.
So I actually learned that what appeared to be that could be a weakness or a setback actually developed strengths in me, which is just amazing. And so, where were we on that?
Just bringing me into the loop.
So we brought Liz into the business because we needed an editor.
I can see color.
Yeah, she can see color. We needed an editor. And so for the next 2 years, we were working weekends and all through the week. Liz
We
worked.
really did not have a life for the
No,
first
we did not have
2
a
to
life.
3 years of our business.
Yeah, and we were doing like pastoring our
young adults.
young adult ministry at church. So
Our days and nights were like we were not breathing.
yeah,
We
I
were
went
working.
I went from being on the couch every night exhausted to never being on the couch ever because we didn't have time. So we worked really, really, really hard. And then in the school year of 2020, I was booking the next school year as if we were going to go full time. I had like 20 weddings booked. And
At least by COVID. Like,
yeah,
I think there were a
more
few
than 20 by
Yeah.
COVID. But had a roughly amount,
Had enough that you were going to resign from your teaching position. Like, that was the plan. Like, you had enough booked that before COVID hit,
in
like
the spring,
you had
I was gonna
planned
quit.
to tell your principal, like, hey, I'm leaving. We're going full time into a business. And then COVID hit. And we have, I want to say it was close to 30 weddings on the book
Probably,
at that point.
yeah, 25 to 30. So this is May of 2020. We're out of school because of COVID. And it's come to the point where I have to decide, am I going to quit with the original plan or am I going to try to stay out of, insecurity and
The fear of
possibly-
everything being canceled. Like, I mean, COVID has shut everything down. Like, there's no big gatherings. Weddings are supposed to be called off. But you knew from the Lord originally, like, this was, like, you felt very confident that we were supposed to be full time in the business.
Yep.
You had asked that you have 20 weddings by the end or by the
by
start.
2020.
Yes, 20 weddings by 2020.
And that happened.
And it felt like a confirmation from the Lord that the Lord's like, no, like, this is the business that I want you in. I want you to take this leap of faith, which no matter what was going to be a leap of faith. And then COVID hits. And the leap of faith is suddenly like a long jump. Like, we're no longer even in the realm of, well, at least we'll have a stable income. It's like, no, this income could literally implode.
Yeah. And mind you, we live in a town, at the time, we lived in a town of 500 people. That's where I'm from, a little rural town, Plainview, Arkansas. Love it. But that's where we lived, so not a big metropolis where there's just
Opportunity
business everywhere,
yeah.
opportunity everywhere. So we have 25 to 30 weddings booked. I have to make a decision. And like, it's the day where I need to call my principal. Like they're asking, am I coming back or not? Like, I need to sign papers if I'm coming back. So I literally go into our bedroom and I kneel at our bed.
I'm
Like,
probably editing.
yeah, probably, because that's what our life was.
Yeah.
And so I kneel at our bed and I'm like crying out to the Lord, like, God, I am desperate for you to speak to me right now. Like, I actually need to know, like,
You needed a word.
yeah, I need you to speak. And I'll do what you say, but I just need to hear you. And I just knew in my spirit, like he spoke to me, like it was just a knowing.
And this moment changed our lives. Like
Mm-hmm.
this changes the trajectory of everything.
Yeah. So I was praying about it, and I knew the Spirit of the Lord said, don't doubt and fear what you heard in faith. I was like, all right, I didn't come up with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Now we do come back to this over and over. Like this is a phrase now that like guides our lives. If the Lord speaks to us and things start to get hard, it's like that doesn't matter because we know that his truth is truth no matter if it's said in the
no matter
daytime
what
or
we
at night.
see.
Yeah.
Truly walking by faith and not by sight. So I heard that and I was like, all right. I said I would do whatever you said. So here we are. And I had the conversation with my principal. He was upset. I mean, sad, you know.
Okay, so Cameron was a great teacher. I feel like we made it sound like you were miserable, but you were a great teacher. Your classroom was wonderful. Like I do think the kids loved you. It just was. You were
wasn't
excellent,
aligned.
but it was not your calling.
Yeah. And thank the Lord for teachers who are called
And have a passion for it.
education to teach, you know, whether it's public school, private school,
We have
whatever.
a lot of good friends who teach and do such a wonderful job who are
and
truly excellent.
And people are called to do that, and they should do that.
Yes.
But I was misaligned. And so, anyways, had the conversation, officially resigned, and I was equally scared to death and like super excited because I finally felt like I was headed the right direction.
And of course, like the cancellations roll in, like people moving their dates, people postponing, people, all of that happens. But in 2020, I think we ended up shooting around 40 elopements. Like because of course they're all smaller. I think by the end of the year we were having some actual weddings, but like especially through the height of COVID, like we were basically doing small elopements, family styled weddings, and it looked very different during that time.
Yeah, as it did for everybody.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody was going through this, and I think that summer there was some pushback finally, and so we like weddings were kind of picking back up again, but not everybody was. I think there were still some regulations, there were still some rules around it, and so I feel like immediately though, like I say immediately, like there was fear, but very early on, the Lord was like fulfilling His side of the promise.
Oh yeah,
and keeping us very secure.
We had abundance in 2020. Like we did not struggle. We did not, you know, we had a lot of work, you know, a lot to keep up with. But
I was still working a full-time job. Like we did not both quit at the same time. Like we
Liz was an administrative assistant.
Worked about an hour from home.
Yeah.
Like,
so 2 hours of her day was
driving.
But anyways, the Lord was faithful. He proved faithful in that moment, in that season. And He has proved faithful throughout our entire business.
Over and over and over.
And truly, He has opened doors that we could have never opened ourselves.
Been in rooms that we shouldn't have been in because He invited us in.
Because, I mean, He brought us clients that we weren't technically even ready for yet. We were shooting weddings. We technically weren't qualified yet that, like, opened even more doors. You know, we've gotten to work with Miss America. We're doing a celebrity wedding in October, and all because of Him, genuinely.
Just time and time again, He's opened these doors and led us into these places of abundance.
Yeah, and it hasn't necessarily been for the things that we've gotten to do. This is what we keep learning. It's been for the moments like kneeling by the bed. You know, it's been for those moments of coming back to the Lord, of partnership. Because honestly, like a lot of people wouldn't assume this. Maybe they would. But I am very much an Enneagram 1 control freak, like a worrier, very anxious naturally.
Yes.
And so technically speaking, like I am not really designed
for a business, for a small business. Absolutely not.
To have a small business. I am not the one that can technically just be like, oh, well,
We have little this month. We'll have more next.
yeah, like I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to try to
Like
fix it.
having the 9 to 5, having the salary was really important to you.
Yep.
Like
I
going
never
into your
even
career.
I never even gave the time of day to like, maybe I should own my business or own my own business one day. No.
Which is why he picked the career he did, because originally I think the Lord was lining you up
Yeah.
to own your own business, and you were kind of like, ooh, no, absolutely not. And the Lord was like, okay, you want to go left? Go left.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
luckily, the Lord was so wonderful to allow you to go left and like detour you back around.
Yep.
But he definitely let you like
Yeah.
choose your path.
Yeah. And so we have just seen God's faithfulness over all these years. And over the last few years, I would say a few years, we've began to like mentor other photographers.
Yeah.
Kind of unofficially, just whenever they have questions and they DM us, or we've met with a couple photographers
Over lunch or coffee, or we've done a couple little like gatherings where we got to be like guest speakers.
Yeah, and we love it. And
Yeah, it's one of our favorite things. We adore doing that. It's well, and that's really why we're here, because we found out through like small mentorships and getting to speak that this is kind of where our heart is moving, I feel like, and where the Lord is guiding us is to have conversations like the ones we're going to have on this podcast.
yeah, and so like 2 years ago, speaking of the podcast, Elizabeth was like, "Hey, have you ever considered us starting a podcast?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
Shut down
Yeah.
immediately.
I was
No
like,
question, just shut down.
Yeah, I was like, "No."
That sounds like a horrible idea.
I wasn't that mean, but I definitely wasn't on board for it. And partly it's because I don't like having too many irons in the fire. Like I want to focus on one or two things and do them really, really well.
Well, and it comes back to like having the grace to begin. Like again, that's a new concept for you, I feel like. Like that is something the Lord is working on with you, is beginning.
Yeah, and that's another thing. With a podcast, you have to be really vulnerable. I mean, it is vulnerable. Like right now, we don't have a script. We have some notes, but like if you're making a reel in your office,
Oh yeah, you can literally just read.
yeah, you can
Read
just
what you
read.
already
You
wrote.
have a script. There's not that much vulnerability.
There's
out
no
there.
pressure. You can record it over and over and over. With a podcast, we don't have hours to spend recording over and over and over.
No. And
Which was why yesterday was frustrating.
absolutely a big lesson. But anyways, she mentioned that about the podcast. I was like, no. And now, just within the last few months, we launched Endeavor with Cameron and Elizabeth, and that's our education branch of our business. And through that, we offer like various consultations that for photographers, and then we might eventually offer like an academy for photographers that they can enroll in.
Mentorships, coaching.
Yeah. And in the last couple of months, I felt like the Lord just kind of told me, like, drop in my spirit, like, it's time to start the podcast. And I was like, all right, it feels right. It feels like the right time.
Well, in the last 2 years, we went through hell on earth. And so honestly, if we
Not
had started
being dramatic there.
If we had started when I really wanted to, I don't know that we couldn't have been faithful to it. And so I do feel like the Lord like put a pause in his spirit. I was already excited about it. So here's the thing. The moment he mentioned it, any doubt in his mind, I vanquished. I was like, no, let's do it. I was so excited. So I think the Lord was like preparing me so that when he dropped it in your spirit, I could be like, yes, absolutely. We're doing this.
And he knew I would need a couple years to let it like
sink in
and like, be okay with it. But yeah, so the reason why we wanted to start this podcast, there's a few different reasons. So as you mentioned, the last like 2 years of our lives have been tumultuous. They've been,
to say it nicely.
Yeah, they have been an absolute roller coaster of emotions, really high highs and really low lows. It started with Darling being born, obviously a super high high. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the best experience you could ever have is having your own child.
Yeah.
The love that you have for them, it's amazing. The joy
Yes.
that you have, the purpose, the new purpose.
Yeah, and everything about the pregnancy was really wonderful. I feel like it was a very easy pregnancy. I was pregnant with a lot of my friends, and I think I had one of the easiest pregnancies. And so, like, we have this beautiful little baby girl, and life feels pretty, like, perfect for
Yeah.
about 6 hours.
Yeah. So the first night home, Darling stopped breathing. So we had to like Liz rushed out of the house with her in her arms and with Liz in her nightgown. Like it was a very, very, very traumatic experience.
It's raining. I have no shoes on. The ambulance passes by our house. Like,
It was
it's probably the most traumatic night of my entire life.
So then we spent the first whole week of her life in children's, which is just hard. And so then the transition into parenthood was automatically unnatural because
A lot of fear involved, anxiety.
extra fear.
Unlike Cameron, I am not an anxious person. I have never been an anxious person.
Thank the Lord. If we were both as anxious as me, I don't know that we would.
I tend to just not worry like you do.
Yeah.
And I mean, somebody probably does need to worry about things. So I'm glad like he takes that responsibility. But for the first, I would say it took a good 4 months of Darling being alive for me to feel like she wasn't going to break at some point. Like where I could leave her in a room by herself for more than 30 seconds at a time. I remember trying to get things done like in the kitchen or like do a dish, and I'd literally like wash one dish and run and put a hand on her chest, make sure she's breathing, make sure she's okay. Like I'd have a 30-second timer in my head for 4 months, like just making sure she's okay. And that's not a great way to live.
Yeah.
And all the while, like we're still running a business.
Oh yeah.
Like we're still
growing
and technically speaking in one of the biggest years of our lives and booking out, was it 2025? So we're booking for 2025 at this point, and 2025 is shaping up to be
like a
the
portfolio
pinnacle of our year.
Yeah.
I'm talking, that's when we booked Miss America. This is when we go to Italy. We had like 6 or 7 huge destination weddings. And all of this is happening while at home, my anxiety is through the roof. Cameron, I mean, we're new parents. And so we're trying to juggle like what should be the pinnacle of our career with parenthood.
Yeah. And parenthood that started with like fear,
Yes.
you know? And so Darling gets here and then life starts to level out a little bit.
Yeah, I would say,
it
yes.
starts to be a little bit normal again.
Around the 6-month mark, like we go to California all together. So like there's like these really high
Really
moments.
great moments.
Like we're all in California. I think she was maybe around 5 months old. She tries avocado as her first food in California,
In Santa Barbara.
in the town where like they have avocado festivals. Like talk about like the highest of high moments. Like that is something I will never forget. I will treasure always. And then we come back home.
Yeah.
And
So
within
then we're back
couple
home
months.
for not very long. And when Darling's like 11 months old, not even a full year yet, Elizabeth is diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, which we'll delve into a lot more later on in episodes. So then we start a cancer battle. And that battle goes on.
In 2025, the pinnacle of our career,
Yes.
we have hit the lowest point of like.
Well, I don't want to say the pinnacle of the career
Well,
because I don't think
okay.
we stopped there.
Well, but you know what I mean? Like at the time, like that we had reached and we had done and we had like all the things that we had labeled as successful in our business, we'd gotten there.
So
that's
the
what
biggest
I mean.
portfolio year to
Yes.
date.
Yeah, like I mean, it was just insane all that the Lord had laid out, and like we're booking now, like in that year, we're booking for 2026, and like a lot happens this year with our portfolio. But beyond that, I'm just saying, like outwardly and to the public, life was just beautiful and grand, and
I mean, they knew the cancer battle was
yes,
going on.
but even then, like I tried to handle myself with a lot of grace and just walk through it as best as I could. And so outwardly, I do think people just assume like life is really good for them, even beyond the cancer battle. Like I think people like just thought their life is excellent, their life is perfect, while underneath, like there was so much like roiling underneath. Like there was a lot that was about to break open.
Yes. Yeah. So all of last year we had the cancer battle, and then we're just now kind of on
Kind
the
of stepping
other
out of
side
that.
of the cancer
Yeah.
battle.
And it's what brought us here.
Yes. And that's how we ended up getting here, because it the last 2 years of our lives have completely changed us.
Oh, yeah.
And this risks sounding very, very, very cliche. It just does, but it's true still. And I know it changed both of us, but it possibly changed me even more than it changed you. And it was technically your cancer battle. But the Lord just used that season of our life to refine us, refine our faith, and give us fresh perspective.
Stabilize us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what happened for me mostly in that is really I got a fresh perspective of what we were building and who we were building it for.
What mattered?
How we were building it. What mattered in life. So I remember just being in the middle of that battle and coming to this place where what I was trying to do, how I was trying to handle it, wasn't enough. I didn't have enough strength in and of myself. I was falling apart. And so, really, though, what it showed me is us in our industry, and we love our industry so much. We love the wedding industry. I mean, that's what supports our life, is the wedding industry.
We've had amazing clients, amazing experiences. Like it doesn't change any of that.
No.
These
But
facts.
what I started to see about myself through all that is what was most important in life, which was knowing the Lord and loving your family and walking and calling. And it started to show me that I wasn't doing some of those things.
Yeah.
And that I had started to become a little bit better friends with the world than I had with the Lord, who is originally who gave
us the dream
in the first place. But I had started to maybe serve the dream a little bit more than serving the Lord. And so I just saw that I saw the trap that can be in our industry specifically. And I can only speak on, and that's in all industries.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely there.
But I can only speak on my experience in our industry. And there's such a draw in our industry specifically for believers. So I'm talking to believers right now. There's such a draw in our industry to become friends with the world, because in our industry, like all, there is a race to the top. Okay. There's a race to book the best next client. There's a race to book the best next wedding destination, the next best portfolio wedding. You know, you want to grow your business, and that's good. That's natural.
Oh
right?
yeah, you should want that.
Yeah,
like
you
it's
should
not
wanna
a bad
grow.
thing to want.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing to want. It's not a bad thing or want that, or not a bad thing to grow. But that race can become
Your identity,
your
foundation,
your idol, really, your God. I mean, really. And you can forget who
put you there, yeah.
who called you to build it in the first place. And that's what I was doing. And so I also think there's this narrative in our industry that, number one, if it's Christian, then
it's probably going to be a little cheesy, maybe a little cringy, second rate.
Yeah, if it's Christian, it's second rate. And that sometimes is true, but it should not be true.
Yeah.
That should not be the case. In fact, we believe that excellence and faith should naturally coexist.
Yeah.
Excellence should be a natural fruit
result,
result of faith.
Because we serve an excellent God, and beyond that, like we serve the Creator. So we should be the most creative.
We serve a God of abundance.
Yeah, so we should be technically the most abundant, and that's so controversial. We know, but we will get into scripture, not today, but like there's so much support that Christians should live in excellence. And not that we have to strive, because the Lord is excellent, and that's where we like find our excellence is in him. But by knowing him, by being close to him, by abiding in him, we're going to find that, and we're going to do that naturally. It's going to be the fruit because of knowing him. Like it's, show me your faith without works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. It's just that idea that like you will naturally produce. You will be producing if you're abiding in Jesus. And what you produce is good.
Yes.
It's good fruit. It's good work. And so like we should be the kindest. We should be the most artistic. We should be all of these things because we know
reviews.
Jesus.
Yeah. We should be killing it.
Yeah, like our customer service should be better than anyone else's. Instead of someone saying, "Oh, they're a Christian photographer. I'm a Christian. I'll book them." Like people are going to be like, "Oh, they're a Christian photographer. I have to book them," no matter who they are. They don't have to be a Christian to book a Christian photographer. It's like, no, we just know that because they're Christians, they're excellent.
Yeah.
I think of like two examples. One would be, at least like in our area, the Mennonites are known.
Yeah, just think
are known for being good builders and like for doing like crafting really well. And so like if you're going to buy like an outdoor furniture set or have someone come build a house, like if they like are a part of the Mennonite community, you know that their work is going to be really excellent.
And that they're going to be great
honest.
to work with.
Yes, they're going to be really honest. Their work is going to be excellent. Like they're known for that. And then the other one is like a much larger scale, and anyone can relate to this. And again, like the Mennonite community, like they kind of are labeled, so to speak. Well, let's think about fast food. Like some of the best fast food restaurants are not Christian, blah, blah, blah. It's Chick-fil-A, it's In-N-Out Burger. Like they didn't need to slap a Christian label on it. They just applied Christian principles. And that was enough for them to become excellent in that industry.
Yeah.
And that's all we mean by that is like without slapping the label Christian on it, you should be known by your works.
Yeah. Well, and it's also kind of like the shoemaker.
Yes.
You know, how does it go?
You will not know a Christian shoe by there being a cross
On the shoe.
on the shoe. Like you will know a Christian shoe because it was excellently made.
Yeah. Like it was a really good shoe.
Yes.
I love that. And the reason why I know that this is a thing that happens in our industry, like people start to drift from their faith because for some reason we have separated in our minds the marketplace and ministry.
That's good.
We've separated those two things, and Jesus never separated those. He never separated them.
Yeah, like if you're called to the marketplace, that is your ministry.
Yeah. And so our faith and our work are so interconnected. In fact, maybe he called us to do what he called us to do so that we could continue to come back to him and build on him. But I know that this happens. I know that people separate that and people begin to pursue the marketplace and leave their faith.
Yeah.
Because I have literally talked to other vendors, multiple other vendors, who either knew the Lord and they were, you know, they drifted from him, they've drifted from their faith, but they've grown in their business because that's what they gave their attention to. Or I've talked to people who left the Lord completely and their lives have ended up in partial destruction. And it's because they forsook
Their first love. Yeah.
Yeah, well, forsook their identity.
And
in Christ.
identity. That's
and like I've seen that happen, and it's so sad to me. And I think at the heart of it is that people separate
choose
those two.
one or the other.
They choose one or the other
instead of allowing it to be a partnership.
Yep, absolutely. So we do have a scripture that I want to read. It's Psalm 49, 16 through 20. It says, "Do not be overawed when others grow rich, when the splendor of their houses increases. For they will take nothing with them when they die. Their splendor will not descend with them. Though while they live, they count themselves blessed, and people praise you when you prosper. They will join those who have gone before them, who will never again see the light of life. People who have wealth but lack understanding are like the beasts that perish."
such a good scripture.
Well, here's
you wanna,
the cool
the
thing.
story about it.
So this morning I was doing my devotional after yesterday being so discouraged, and then the Lord, like, confirming a word last night through preaching and all that. Then I went to do my devotional this morning, and lo and behold, he confirmed himself again to me through my daily reading. And it was Psalm 49, the whole chapter. The entire chapter of Psalm 49
is the heart behind
all of endeavor.
Behind endeavor, yeah, it really
and it's
is.
basically, it's really simple. If we could,
and this is not like what we based endeavor off of knowingly.
yeah,
that's
scripture,
what's crazy.
These scriptures, no. If I could condense down the heart of endeavor into one sentence, it's that we believe you don't have to sacrifice your soul in order to experience success.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. And so that's the narrative that we're pushing back against in this passage of scripture that I read this morning, that the Lord was like, yes, like this is
like a mirror to that, and even maybe more in depth than just that one line, because originally, what is it? It's Mark 8:36. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Like that kind of was like, if you had to give like, a scripture for endeavor, like that, that was the heart behind it, until you read this scripture and we're like, oh my gosh, that is so much more in line.
It goes even more in depth.
Yes, like it goes so much more in depth, and this is where our hearts are, because again, we have seen people like forfeit their walk with the Lord and grow in business, and they have become successful. That has worked
by worldly
by the worldly definition, like they are having great success, and you're watching their house increase.
Well, it kind of automatically gives two groups of people. Like both of them are wealthy, technically, because it says people who have wealth but lack understanding are like the beasts that perish.
Yeah.
And so it's not that we're coming out against wealth or coming out against even worldly definitions of success. We don't think those things are bad inherently, but there's a difference in chasing after those things and making those things the goal and considering that success. And there's that. And then there is truly building your foundation on Jesus and partnering with him to walk in the calling that he's placed before you, and then watching abundance flow from there.
Yes. Because what we're seeing right here is, many count them as blessed. Like they're saying, oh, wow, look at their wealth, look at their house, look at their car, look at, like, they're looking outwardly and they're seeing blessings, or what they would call blessings. And people praise you when you prosper. And so I even think like of influencers. Like people are going to praise you as you prosper. People are going to come up behind you. They're going to get with you. The following's going to grow.
You're going to gain clout.
Yeah, like exactly. And they will join those who have gone before them, who will never again see the light of life. And they cannot take with them.
They've received their reward. And I think that's what it ultimately came down to for me. So the Lord brought me to this place in the cancer battle where I had to ask myself, at the end of my life, do I really want to be known as, oh, wow, Cameron was a really good photographer? Is that enough for me?
Like, if that was on your tombstone,
is that enough? And now, obviously, I'm a parent, I'm a brother, I'm a son, all these things.
But the business was becoming everything to you, I feel like.
Yes, the business was becoming my everything. And so when the Lord basically asked me that, I had this it's like the world was coming down on me. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, oh
that's
my goodness.
Enough.
No, that is not enough at all to be known as a really good photographer. But I think everybody can ask themselves that. Is it enough to be known at the end of your life? They were a great wedding planner. They were a great florist. They were a great whatever it is you do.
And that's wonderful. Like,
yeah.
I hope people do remember that about you, but is that what's going to be on your tombstone? Because that was your highest accomplishment. Like the best thing about you was you were a florist. Like, is that enough for you?
Yeah.
The best thing about me is I was a videographer. Like, I know for me personally, like that's not enough. I don't want that to be my legacy.
Yeah. Instead, I really want it to be Cameron intimately loved Jesus and helped others to love Jesus. But daily, he was a good photographer. Like
that is a part of your testimony.
Yeah.
It's not the pinnacle of who you are.
No, because here's the truth. And you've heard this time and time again, I'm sure. But you look at the lives of like even celebrities and how many times do we see articles come out or, press releases or whatever about so-and-so getting divorced or so-and-so cheated on so-and-so or they went bankrupt.
Or they took their own lives.
They took their own lives. And it's because people reach the pinnacle of worldly defined success and they're still empty. Because the truth is, we all have a void in us and we try to fill it with anything and everything except Jesus. And he's the only thing that can truly satisfy our souls.
Well, and you think like a lot of these people get to the top and the celebrity list changes even. And so even putting like, oh, Cameron was a great photographer. What if your tombstone said Cameron was the best photographer? Would that be enough? It's like, okay, well, what if I'm the best? Well, here's the thing. You were the best for a little while, maybe, but the chances of you being the best in the career for more than a couple years is so unlikely. Because, I mean, we can think of people who we would maybe even call the best in our career, but how long is that going to last? Like, how long are they actually going to be at the top? How long are they actually going to be the best? And who all is calling them the best? Because our opinion of who the best photographer is, it's such a subjective thing. And so even that, it's like, no, that's the chances of you having written on your tombstone, they were the best wedding planner. They were the best florist. Because, I mean, that feels like a big accomplishment, right? Because you were the best. That's just not going to happen. You're never going to be the best at something in everybody's eyes and by the standard of
it's shifting sand.
Yes.
It's a shifting target.
Always.
And again, I want to reiterate, like, we are not saying you shouldn't strive or work. Don't even strive. That you shouldn't work to be the best. You should. Even the Bible talks about being a skilled laborer to do everything to the glory of God. Like, you should work to be the best.
You should be the best.
You should even...
That should not be the goal. You should be the best. That's not the goal.
Right. The goal is to
know Jesus,
to partner with him.
Yeah.
And everything else flows from there. So, who is this podcast for? And this is really what we want it all to come down to for this episode. This is, I would say...
an introduction.
Yeah. It's
like, come get to know us a little bit, see where we're coming from. That way you can decide, like, do we want to listen to these people?
Well, and I'll just come right out and say it. This podcast is not for everyone.
No.
We want you to hear this first episode and be like, wow, I cannot stand the sound of their voice. I don't like what they're talking about. It doesn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Jasmine Starr, for that one. Because honestly, like, we listen to her a lot, and she kind of said the same thing. I think that's our attitude. Like, you're gonna attract or you're gonna repel,
and you want to.
Yeah.
Because we want some people to listen to it and be like, wow, I'm right at home. Like, this is exactly how I feel. Like, this is what I'm working toward. This is ultimately my goal. Yeah. And so... yeah,
because we've hopefully invited you into our studio. Like, this is a conversation with you.
Yeah. So I would say ultimately this podcast is for the believer.
Yeah.
It's for the believer in Jesus.
And if you're not, come and get to know him.
Yeah. Anyone is welcome.
Oh, yeah.
But technically it is for the believer who wants to continue to follow Jesus, continue to get to know Jesus, but also succeed in the marketplace. That's exactly who this podcast is for. Whether you're a photographer, a planner, if you're not even in the wedding industry, maybe you're just a leader, maybe you're in ministry,
or maybe
if you're building something, this is for you, really.
Like, if you want to tie your everyday life into ministry, come and follow us.
Yeah. And so I would say this podcast is probably not for someone that's looking for like quick business hacks or formulas or even like overnight success type things.
Yeah.
Because this is what you can expect from it as far as topics of conversation. Um, you can expect faith-filled business strategies. Okay, we're going to talk about specific business strategies that are practical
And even things that you can implement that day,
that day.
the next day. And these are strategies that we know work. Like
'Cause we've
we've
used
used them in our own business, but we are never going to tell you like, do this and tomorrow you're going to book.
Yeah.
Like that just feels like a really false claim.
Yeah.
But instead, if we're like, hey, if you practice this over the next month, yeah, you can double your prices. Honestly, like
Yeah.
that's a far more realistic expectation and goal.
Well, and I think the difference is like everything that we do will always come back to faith and the word. And because we want it to be rooted and based in truth. And so we will give you business strategies. I would say that a lot of times whenever we do talk about business strategies, it probably will be more photographer specific, even though different people in the wedding industry could glean from it.
Oh yeah, because client experience, that's something that I feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, restaurants who do client experience well, like there's stories about success there. And so there's definitely topics that reach beyond photographers, but that is our area of expertise.
Yeah.
And so that is where we come from.
And we'll pull from the different Endeavor Academy pillars that we've created, like business foundations, finance, client
Artistry.
experience, artistry, different things like that. And then we will be talking about faith-fueled business journeys. So we would love to have on guests in our industry, outside of our industry, who have experienced success in business and or life in general.
Yeah, we
want
to hear from you. Like, honestly, like if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this story where God propelled my business. That is the kind of stories that we want to hear, that we want to encourage, and we want our listeners to hear as well.
Yeah. We will talk about calling and gifting. We want to talk about marriage and family as entrepreneurs, because I'm sure there's people that were like us that were like, well, we do have this stream of this business and it's not really like a normal life, you know, to do this kind of business. But like, what does it look like to have a marriage or have a healthy family while also being self-employed and working on weekends and all that?
Yes.
So we want to talk about that. And we want to talk about encouragement and hope. Because I feel like just in
Maybe more
general,
than anything.
yeah, just in general in our lives, in our culture, the news, it's so depressing.
So easy to get discouraged.
Yeah, so we want this to be a place you can come to and genuinely find hope. And so,
Well, yeah, and you leave full of hope. You leave encouraged. You leave challenged, hopefully. Like, hopefully there's a challenging aspect to everything that we talk about because we want you to grow. And without challenge, there is no growth.
yeah, well, and you've probably already noticed by now, just by the end of this first episode, Elizabeth and I, like, we don't really beat around the bush. Like, I'm not super interested in small talk.
Neither of us are. We're not very good at it.
I'm not good at small talk. I don't enjoy small talk. Like, I feel like it's just wasted words in a way. Like, I just don't like it. Like, we like to get to the heart of the matter, and that's where we live. And we also do have to learn to be lighthearted and have fun. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we're not fun.
no, we're not fun, but like, we have to remind ourselves it's not always that serious.
Yeah.
But we do like to be pretty deep. So we will be deep, and we won't shy away from that.
Yeah.
And so we do every episode. We want to end with this. What is Jesus inviting us to notice? So from this episode, what is Jesus inviting us to notice here?
Yeah, so if we look back over and we're just kind of summarizing today's conversation, of course, a lot of that was introductory. Well, we also went to the scripture, and we also saw that success means nothing if it's not founded on Jesus, because you can't bring it with you. You can't bring any of this with you. And so if you are putting all of your hope, all of your dreams on becoming successful or being successful, just know that when the house is built, when everything is complete, it's going to feel empty. There's not going to be...
It's really good.
It's going to feel very worthless. And I think that's where the whole cancer battle like showed us that, because again, like when you when you have cancer, you become very mortal. Like you realize like, oh my gosh, our lives are timed. And we all know that, but there's something about like
An
an experience like that, like a near-death experience or a disease like that, that will make you ask, if I died,
have I lived
have
a
I,
life?
yeah, have I lived? If I die, have I lived?
Yeah.
And
Put it on a t-shirt.
I think Jesus invites us to just notice that. Like, where is your hope? Where is your heart? Where is your home? And have you lived? Like, are you living?
I think you could ask, if everything I worked for disappeared tomorrow, would you still be enough? Ask Jesus that. Jesus, if everything I worked for disappeared tomorrow, would you still be enough? It's really good.
Yeah.
It's challenging.
And that's, like we said, like we want there to be a challenge, because without it, there's no growth, and we want you to grow.
Yep. So next week, we'll open up Luke chapter 6 and begin asking a foundational question. How does Jesus teach us to build successfully? I cannot wait to talk about that. And I said next week, I actually meant next episode.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to talk about that. So we hope you leave today's conversation encouraged in your faith and equipped for your calling. Until next time, keep building what lasts.